This is a Kia Picanto. It's an unassuming car, but it's one of the best value and probably one of the favourite super minis on sale in Britain today. Comes with a 7-year warranty, of course. The kind of people that buy this just are happy to go from A to B, doing nothing in particular, and it does the job brilliantly. But what if I told you I am going to take this new Kia Picanto and I'm going to enter one of the oldest, most grueling, but yet most affordable motorsports in the world? Well, in 8 weeks' time, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this car on a trial, the Landsend Trial. It looks a bit like this. So follow me in this little mini series as we prep this car and then we take it on said trial. I'm Jonny Smith, you're watching The Late Break Show. I know what you're thinking though. You're thinking, Jonny, people don't do car trials in cars that they really care about that are brand new because the cars get really badly punished and hurt. And you'd be absolutely right. That is true. But that's the reason why I'm going to do it in a brand new car, because I don't think anybody's done it. And I'm not needlessly wasting this car because this exact Kia Picanto 1 litre GT line with its turbocharged engine and it's 100 horsepower and it's almost exactly 1 tonne curb weight. This is a pre-production car. That means that this car has to be crushed legally. It cannot be resold. And this happens in the car industry a lot for tax reasons and R&D reasons. And I know this. And that's why I've decided to get this car off Kia before it gets legally destroyed and give it a last lease of life. It's going to do something which I don't think any other new car has done. You probably want to know what trialling exactly is and how long it's been going. Well, here's a quick history lesson.
The Landsend Trial has been running every Easter since 1908, with the exception of pandemics and world wars. Officially named the Landsend Reliability Trial, it was actually devised to showcase the robustness and longevity of new motorcycles. I say motorcycles because the MCC Motorcycle Club, who are the oldest sporting motor club in the world, started for just motorbikes and sidecars. Then cars joined in. I mean, this club celebrated its 50th birthday in 1951. This may be deeply historic, but the Landsend Trial continues to challenge cars and bikes every single year. It no longer starts in London, but many of the routes and special stages are the same that have existed on farms, quarries and unforgiving land dotted across the West Country since day dot. No 4x4 vehicles are allowed, and all-terrain tyres are banned. As such, the cars are built to survive smashing and leaping their way over treacherous hill climbs with low tyre pressures and high suspension clearance. Oh, and it starts at night and it runs continuously for 24 hours. The cars are prepped with knowledge, not open checkbooks. In fact, most cars are pretty cheap. There's many different weapons of choice, and back in 2007 I competed in one of the favourites, a classic VW Beetle, for my first trial on the TV series Fifth Gear. That was the Exeter trial. I was then a co-driver with a certain Tiff Nadell in another trial, the Ilkley trial. I loved every single minute and I always wanted to come and do the big Land's End one. So why not do this monstrous test of man and machine in a brand new budget car?
And so here we are now. I'm going to do it for the third time. the Big Daddy event, the main one, the Landsend Trial. Almost 24 hours of driving, not quite non-stop, but almost. And of course the cars have to be road legal and all the modifications have to be scrutineered. But most of the changes you make to the car aren't expensive changes, they're just clever. And that's why I like trialling. So, Kia Picanto, 5-speed gearbox, 998 I think cc, little 1 litre turbo engine, 12 valve. Front wheel drive, of course, trailing arm rear suspension, McPherson strut front, 1,030 kilos, and 172 newton meters of torque, which is great because you're going to need torque where we're going. Feel the 3-cylinder power. They're really charismatic 3-cylinder engines, and it's actually got quite a lot of grunt to it considering, and you're going to need it. I have no idea how this car is going to react to the kind of conditions we're going to put it through, but one thing I do know is I'm driving it to Wales so that my friend Sean, who does a lot of rally sport, tuition and prep, can prep this car. We can comb through the rule book and we can prepare this car for battle, because battle takes place really soon. 8 weeks soon. This is Sean, who owns the garage here, Automax. You'll see there's rally cars on the wall. He does a bit of rallying. In fact, there's a rally car right behind Phil, the cameraman. But you know Sean, because he's been on my channel before, from the Renault 5 Barnfind, which is one of the most popular Barnfinds we've ever done.
Yeah.
And Sean helped me, not only tipped me off about the car in the first place, but helped me drag it out and get it started. And consequently, you've bought it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's in the back in the stores of all the other vehicles that I've got.
yeah.
But
So Sean is watch this space. He is actually going to start like a big, deep restoration on that car.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting. But I'll tell you more about that another time. We're here to talk Picanto. So when I had this idea of taking the car trialing, sent you some links. This is what the trialing is. I know you're interested because Sean does a bit of driving, instructing, and building of rally cars. So I was like, what do you reckon?
As soon as you said, what do you think of this? I'm in. Any kind of motorsport is fun, isn't it? It's good. And I didn't expect we'd be doing it in a
brand new
Picanto, brand new.
I know, it's box fresh pretty much.
Or whatever it is.
We know this is going to undergo quite a lot of punishment.
Yeah.
Luckily, Kia aren't interested in it coming back in its original form, and I'm not. I want to preserve it, and we want to make the finish.
Yeah.
Not expecting to.
That's always. I think the aim of even like when we do rallying, the aim is to get the car, especially if you built it yourself.
Yeah.
Get the car to the end, so make it reliable.
Yeah.
I don't think being the fastest person on the stage or on the track is always a good idea, good way to go. No. I think getting to the end, because to finish first you have to finish. So,
correct me if I'm wrong. This is because I wanted to get a turbo 1 litre because it's the quickest Picanto they make. We're not modifying the engine in terms of performance. I think the only way we would modify it is to relocate the air intake.
I mean, the intake looks like it's here somewhere.
That's pretty good if that
is the intake.
That's here.
But I guarantee that there'll be something lower down, but we can get rid of that and just keep it high up. Because if there is any water splashes or anything like that, racing in the UK, it's guaranteed to be wet at some point, isn't it? So we'll need to make sure it doesn't suck, because they don't suck water up too well.
No. But the ground clearance is a major, probably the biggest factor on, I would say, on trialing. All the trials cars I've seen, even if they're road car based or specials, they sit really high.
Yeah. They almost look like crabs, don't they? They're
like on stilts.
Yeah.
So the bumper on these is huge. Modern car bumpers are like half the front of the car. And the biggest problem we've got, if you can see through this grille, is the radiator, which is quite vulnerable. This is going to get torn off in a second in this standard form. So I'm wondering whether we're going to...
It looks really nice. I like it.
It is a well started. It is a cool car.
But yeah,
But I'm thinking we might end up along almost this black line, cutting the bumper, removing this part and doing away with it, possibly relocating these.
yeah, it'd be nice to utilise these lights.
Fogs, we can put them somewhere else.
Put them somewhere else, yeah.
And
maybe get some extra lighting as well. You can either have a roof bar. That's what I was thinking about. You know, you do the night stage, and if you can't see the road, enough of the road, we could take out a tyre on a rock or a boulder that you can't see.
Yeah.
So you need visibility, don't you? You need as much, because that'll just protect us from hitting anything, really.
And also, some of the stages you have to commit in terms of speed for momentum.
Yeah.
But
you need distance.
You need distance.
So you need a lamp that will do distance, because if you're going to hit something, if you need to get up something, right, I need to hit this with speed, and you can't see halfway up, there's a problem then. Like you were saying with the front, if we're going to put the sump guard on, that's going to add a bit of weight and obviously protection, and we'll have it a bit of a lip coming up the front. Yeah. Just to protect things from going into the radiator. Yes. But we don't want to block the radiator because we still need airflow. You do. And there's also, I've just noticed there's an aircon rad there, so we might remove that because we don't need that. We don't need aircon. Not for where we're going.
No, we don't. So I'm thinking, we're going to end up cutting a large portion.
One of those radar boxes, or is that a blank?
It might be autonomous emergency braking, in which case we need
to get rid of that.
Yeah, we do. And this leads us on to actually another issue we've got. So ground clearance, protection of the underneath and the vulnerable parts of the engine and transmission and stuff. But also, this car has a lot of safety systems on it. Yeah. Like stuff we really don't need. Yeah. Airbags cannot go off.
We don't want an airbag going off in our faces.
Shit, no.
Or a curtain coming down the side or anything like that.
No.
They're basically bombs going off in the car. We don't want that.
Yeah.
And you hit the front hard enough, even if you don't crash it, you hit it hard enough, it'll think you've crashed, won't it? And then
it will. And there are boulders, there's bedrock.
What's that hill called? That famous hill?
The Blue Hills.
That looks
going into Cornwall.
That looks pretty hardcore, that does. Yeah. We need traction. Traction is, because a lot of it's hill climbing, isn't it?
It is.
It's most of it's hill climbing, all the technical bits.
It is.
So we need weight over the front wheels.
Yeah.
And some good traction.
We need 2 spare wheels and tyres, usually.
Yeah.
A pair of, and probably steel wheels.
Steel wheels, yeah. Even though these are really nice, steel wheels will bend.
Yeah, they will.
I mean, the only reason I thought steel wheel maybe is because we need a smaller wheel. Yeah. And I thought maybe Kia might have a standard wheel.
Depends what tyres on it, what profile and...
Yeah, a big profile tyre would be good.
We are restricted on tyres, and they do this intentionally, again, to keep costs down. You can't just go and buy knobbly BF Goodrich, or
a rally tyre.
Or an official rally tyre. So there's a list of permitted tyres.
And most of them, I think, looks like on the list, they're all road legal E-marked tyres. So they're going to have to be a road spec. Yeah. Something you could buy from here.
Yeah, because every single part of this is a journey on the road interspersed with stages. So like a rally car, it has to be an MOT taxed insured vehicle that then competes, and if completes the stage, then moves on to the next stage. You drop the tyre pressures, you do the stage, you put the pressures back up, you check the car, you move on. Yeah. You have a wee in the hedge.
Wee in the hedge, yeah.
And then, or worse. And then,
the glove box.
Yeah. I don't know with the interior. It's actually quite a light thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a false economy to start tearing out soft furnishings. I mean, this has a load of infotainment and tech that we don't need. It's got a heated bloody steering wheel.
Well, that might be handy.
That's actually more useful. It's got Apple CarPlay.
Heated steering wheel is lovely, isn't it?
It is lovely. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a pussy thing to have in motorsport.
But are you wearing gloves?
Probably not.
But back of the car, like this end, this isn't really doing much, is it?
No. In fact, should we get it on the ramp and then we'll look at the rear suspension and rear ground clearance and exhaust? Yes, let's. It's not unusual to be loved anymore. We're not using this. This is the control for the ramp. It does look like a 60s microphone. So you were right about this back box. It's quite bulbous.
Meaty thing, isn't it?
It is a meaty item. It's a lot lower than the spare wheel well, which looks like a robot's face from here. It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, keep that, because that is a handy tow point. Well, it's a towing point, but if we get stuck somewhere, there's always people on hand, isn't there, to tow you out.
They said you want really obvious.
Yeah.
So we might want
we'll
to do
have
an
to mark,
additional one.
Maybe we put one of the tethers on there and mark it.
Now, if you can see the rear bumper, again, like the front of the Picanto, it's a really deep bumper. The lower part of the bumper is flush with the bottom of the body where the spare wheel well recesses. So that's the lowest part bar this here. So I don't know whether or not this is definitely going to get clattered, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to just catch something and rip off.
So
we
like
need to
front,
eliminate
we're
that.
going to have to cut that and do these faux exhaust vents and things have to get.
It's a shame because it's a really nice bumper.
Let's move on to suspension, because the suspension is really crucial in terms of strength and height.
Yeah.
So beam rear.
So beam rear, I mean, they, like a lot of the Citroens and things that run that kind of beam, they do bend quite easily and it throws everything out. So we could have a look at maybe just putting a couple of plates on it just to give it a little bit of strength. Just to stop it.
To box it?
Yeah, maybe just not box the whole thing, because like we said before, if you strengthen something too much, it'll only move somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, but I still think maybe just a couple of bits in here just to give it a little bit more strength, and then we'll check the welds to see how strong they are, and if there's any that seams that haven't been fully welded, we'll make sure they're welded, because that's just going to prevent a problem.
The bottom of these spring cups, do they need reinforcing?
Again, same, part of the beam, isn't it? So I think, I mean, a little bit of a plate across there to strengthen that, to stop that bending in, and then maybe something on here, because the spring cup is not doing much, is it? But maybe, like you said, just we'll double up on there, just a circle to.
Well, on rally
strengthen
cars,
it.
you seam
weld it, and you seam weld it so that if a weld cracks, it's not going to spread all the way along the weld. So you do it in sections. So every inch or whatever it is.
Okay, so spring and shock in terms of ground clearance.
Yeah.
I reckon we could probably get an aftermarket.
If we can get a little bit of a longer shock, we can probably get a longer spring as well, can't we? Or we can do a spacer on the spring, which probably work.
Another thing that's a vulnerable point, obviously the exhaust that you've mentioned. This is tucked in relatively flush.
It is.
But you've got handbrake cables, and then I've just seen them. Where are they? Where are the fuel lines and the brake lines?
Fuel lines and brake lines are here.
They're under this plastic cladding.
Yeah, so this plastic cladding is going to last, it'll shatter. It's going to last like 2 seconds. If we could replicate this in aluminium, something like that, that would be good, because then we don't have to move all the fuel lines inside and add extra time to the project and expense, because we'll have to get new brake lines, fuel lines.
Yeah, we leave them.
So I think if we can protect these well enough to withstand any abuse, because the stuff up there we can cover with the tank guard, so it's not going to affect it up there. It's just this bit here and just up to there, where it's exposed underneath.
My personal opinion is that it's going to need a skid that goes over this plastic fuel tank and then maybe over the base of the beam. So if you hit something really jagged and horrendous, it skis over it.
Yeah. Because this plastic tank is very vulnerable. You get a slice in that, it's game over then.
It really is game over. Are we going to have to protect that?
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, we'll have to do something, because they've got little pressure things, sensors and things like that. So
connectors.
We could move that. Maybe drill it in a bit, but it's hot. That's going to get hot.
It's going to get. It's going to get.
And
really
when it's on song, it's going to get really hot.
And it has a shield here.
So we might put some holes.
I would drill that like this.
Yeah, like that is. Yeah.
Okay. Then you got the main part of the chassis here going into the front subframe.
So this is good. We looked on an older version of the Picanto that we had on the customer. So me and Ian looked at that to see about mounting points, because it's quite crucial having good mounting points for the sump guard, because that's the one that's going to get most of the impact. This is deflection more than anything.
Yeah.
This is going to get probably.
This is going to get.
It's like a bash guard. It's like on a trials bike jumping onto a rock, isn't it? It's going to get a bit of a bashing. And this is quite high up and it's quite thin.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but if you hit that and crush it, there's probably not much gap between that and the pickup pipe. So you crush that against the pickup pipe, you're not sucking up any oil, and then the engine's seized. So
game over.
Game over.
So protecting there.
So I reckon we have we got these. We can use these. We can weld onto there some lugs, and we can thread into that, and then
like a big old skid
Yeah, like
Goes all the
like
way
in the
under.
corner over there. Like, shall I get this out?
Get it out.
Yeah.
He's got a rally car over there. Is that a Renault 11?
Renault 11 Turbo.
Renault
Probably
11.
the only Renault 11 Turbo rally car in the UK.
Renault 11 Turbo rally car. Oh, here we go.
This isn't the actual one we're going to use, but this is a good example. We're going to mount that onto there like that.
Yeah.
And if we had it a bit longer with this little bend in it,
Going all the way.
all the way. See
Yeah.
that? See the way that's kicked up at the front?
Yeah. Basically, you're armouring it, which is fabrication time rather than buying fancy parts.
Yeah.
It's not technology. It's the car has to survive.
Survival is the key.
Business. Wishbones.
Yeah.
So these are, you told me on the phone, these are just pressed steel.
Pressed
Lower
steel,
wishbones.
very weak, but it'll probably be acting like a crumple zone for the car. So if you hit something in a crash, that'll crush before anything else. It crumples it.
Absorbs.
It absorbs it.
But we
yeah.
don't want it to crush.
So we want to try and find a happy medium. We don't want it to crush too easily like standard, and we don't want it to be too strong, because if that's too strong and that won't give, then your chassis leg, drive shaft, shock,
strut tower.
it's going to spread. So
Yeah.
so I think if we could just strengthen it a little bit, maybe put some ribs on the outside, maybe fill it in like we talked about on the back axle.
Yeah.
Just some light strengthening. I think that would be good.
Yeah. This the old strut and the spring.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Because
I like the way Kia have done just a basic bolt-on damper strut, bolt-on strut, where it's just 2 bolts in the hub. That's the best way you can do it. You know, you don't want one of them Golf ones that are slid in or anything like that. That is the best way. So that opens us up to a lot more aftermarket shocks, or we try and modify the standard strut to take the abuse and the height.
Okay.
The other thing I noticed while I was here is I think we need to get rid of the anti-roll bar.
Okay.
Because anti-roll bar, if we get rid of it, we'll have a little bit more travel as well.
100% we need that. I've seen other competitors do that. The handling on the road is not actually that important because you're actually just cruising.
Yeah.
The point of this sort of trial is you're not allowed to be timed on the road because that's classed as racing.
Yeah.
Illegal.
Yeah.
So you're only timed in the specific sections, and in the specific sections, you're basically, the car has to just take the pounding of its life.
Yeah.
Plastic arch liners, I presume, will die.
Probably. I mean, a lot of the rally cars, we leave the original plastic arch liners in them.
Do you?
Because there's a lot of loom in there. There's a lot of engine loom that comes out in a lot of rally cars, a lot of cars.
So you might leave it.
So the only other thing we could do is that K-Land stuff that we spoke about earlier. It's a bit thicker, so we could put just thicker arch liners in.
Yeah.
But I would protect the arches and maybe cut them off here, because
When the bumper gets cut up,
yeah.
cut them
But I
accordingly.
would definitely keep an arch liner in there.
It's sort of half-mast trousers-ish kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah.
All right.
3/4.
Yeah. Okay.
Brake lines seem to be not too bad there. I mean,
They're fairly...
this is something that could get ripped off, which is
Is that a sensor?
an ABS sensor. But I think we need to speak to somebody who works with Kias.
I'm chatting to
see-
Kia's technicians about what we can turn off, because disarming in terms of safety, but we're trying to make the car's brain simpler, so it's worrying less about stuff.
Yeah,
'Cause
it worries a lot.
It will worry a lot, and we don't want it to shut power down. We don't want it to start thinking that we're, killing the traction control or putting in traction control when we're needing.
Yeah.
It to scrap.
Does this car have? I know it has traction control, and if you switch it off, will it come back on its own, or can you completely disable it?
I think you can completely disable it. There's a little button by your left knee, but I knew you were going to ask me something about this, so I was going to. So active safety and dynamic driving dynamics. This is all the bits we probably don't need, and we're going to try and disarm. ABS with electronic brake force distribution (EBD) and brake assist system. Electronic stability control and vehicle stability management. Torque vectoring, brake biased and straight line stability.
Wow.
Hill start assist control. Emergency stop signalling. Tyre pressure monitoring system.
Driven power steering, forward collision avoidance assist. That's the one that's awful.
That needs to go.
That needs that needs to go. Twin front airbags, front passenger airbag cutoff switch, twin side airbags at the front, twin curtain airbags, side impact protection system, engine immobilizer, anti-theft alarm, locking wheel nuts, we know.
Crash detection.
Yeah.
We need to know if there's a crash detection box, because
Yeah.
they always get deleted out of rally cars because
I
they
believe
think
it.
they're crashing all the time.
Yeah, because
and they'll just cut the fuel off. And
You'll cut
everything.
everything.
So yeah, that's another thing.
Anyway, you get the idea. Thank you for watching episode 1 of the Kia Picanto trial car challenge that we've set ourselves. I hope you're going to watch the rest of it. If there are any more already uploaded, I will put them on screen somewhere right now. If you haven't subscribed to The Late Break Show, I would love you to subscribe to The Late Break Show. And if you want to become a Patreon and support us that way, you get early access to videos like this and you get blogs from me every week. Thank you. It's not a Picanto, it's a Picant. No, it's a dirty little CANT. It's really, really immature. We can go on a cleaner for that, it'll be fine. There you go. Officially, you can't.
Traverse.
Traverse Pastrana.
Yeah, car is now.
We got to do this for 24 hours.
Bloody hell. Right. Was that a camera?
Oh God! Oh God!
What was that? What was that?
It's a camera.
Oh, that's the microphone.
Is it?
Did we lose something off the roof then?